It's a beautiful hot day in Bulgaria. Welcome to the Red Pill Diaries in a blue tub. The reason why I'm here is because I'm sweating my balls off and I'm staying low to get away from the mosquitoes. I don't know why they just started popping up recently. But anyway, the thing I want to talk about today, there it is. If you see me go crazy, it's because I'm trying to kill this little... It landed on my phone. The bastard. Fuck it. Oh shit. I had a conversation the other day about mosquitoes, right? And it was like, if they get taken off the earth, would it really, what's the butterfly effect when it comes to mosquitoes? It'd be really good to actually see some kind of, that's a good idea, computer modeling for, I will get back to the topic, by the way, computer modeling for what if scenarios. Like, we've just killed about, what, a few thousand species, or maybe hundreds of thousands when it comes to insects and stuff. Who knows? Hard to think we could kill insects, but we do. We actually kill insect species. It's amazing. And yet we still haven't got rid of the mosquito, the one I hate the most. And flies and cockroaches, right? Now, I know the knock-on effect for no flies might be quite big. I think well, it depends what uses we'd have for them. There's one hovering around my head. I know it's going to bite my face. Yeah, so anyway, we don't know what I mean. The effects could be anything, not just from the ecosystem failing. It could be things like medicines that we find that are some kind of something that's found in the body of one of these parasites. And yeah, I just wanted to see if they did some computer modeling, we could work out, hey, what's the loss if we don't have mosquitoes, or one variety of mosquitoes. I wonder if it's possible to do some kind of computer modeling like that, maybe in the future. Anyway, the thing I was going to talk about instead, well, not instead, just the thing I was going to talk about was the kind of matrix theory reality. And you look back at the Matrix, there's a lot of red pill, the red pill theory, not theory, but the saying red pill comes from, the theory from a lot of different places, everything from Terminator to all sorts of movies, and also a lot of ideas people have had, and people like Philip K. Dick, of course, the books they've written, the ridiculous amount of stories he's written actually per book. So it's not a new thought, and it probably will go on for a long time until we actually wake up from our slumber, whatever the hell this is what we're in, whether we're in a realm. So on that topic, if we are in some kind of realm, this is the flat Earth people. I never dismiss anything, although I'm close to fully dismissing that one. It's just the amount of stuff, the amount of hours that I've watched, because I don't want to be this guy who casts away any doubt, who suppresses any thought or that sort of stuff. So I always listen to what people got to say. And last night I spent the better part of 3 hours watching this videos. This guy, who I met the other day, an English guy here, gave me to look at. And I thought, as far as the scientific proof was concerned, primitive at best. I couldn't believe it. It was actually really bad. There was only about 3 in there that I thought, fairly compelling. But then when I watched the videos on the other side, all the things that I was thinking, as far as from momentum all the way through to when you're traveling with something at the same speed. What's it called again? Oh my God, the term's escaping me. But there was everything I thought in my mind that doesn't sound right from a physics perspective was the same thing these other people were saying in their videos. The only one was what was it again? Yeah, the cloud situation and stuff from NASA. And then the other guy was showing that no, there was only one photograph. Here's this photograph from NASA that's actually from a one of the NASA ships, but all these other ones there, they've actually let them know that they were straight up and saying that they were CGI stuff or composites, whatever it may be. So I think it's just the way that you frame information a lot of times. And when you look at some of the best people debunking and the best people debunking each side, they just don't compare. They really don't. Now, there's another side that comes in that says, hey, intelligent people, it's nothing really to do with intelligent people. It's to do with, well, that's a small part of it. But the intelligence isn't all of it. You can get really smart people who, when you don't want to see something one way, when you apply, like you get in America with the politics, the bipartisan politics, and it doesn't matter about sense. It comes through, I like this person, go red, go blue. when you get a scenario like that, you cannot argue against that. You're arguing against someone's faith. You know what I mean? Their faith might be, I don't know. The faith might be the Spice Girls are amazing. Their faith might be that Ryan Seacrest's a god. I don't know. It could be the most ridiculous things in the world, and that could be their faith. No amount of rationalization is going to get rid of that. It's going to shake it. The words that were used this morning was, "I can see you're going to be a tough nut to crack." There's no cracking any nuts here. You know what I mean? You come out with a compelling reason that's backed up by logic and all sense that we can see and perceive around us, because you can't go by your eyes, given the fact that we all, let's say, the thing that I always say is, if you believe in flat earth theory, then either you're completely all about God, and we're all living in a petri dish, which I think is what they're on about, and most of them, or you believe in simulation theory, because there's no other reason. Everything else falls down. Why would you create all these lies? There's no reason for it. Why, when you create the lies, would you create such gaping holes in the story? Because there's things that are like anomalies that happen, like wobbles, for example. Why wouldn't you just fix those things so people wouldn't question the wobble? But the thing is, there's all good reasons for these things to happen, because it's gravitational force. Like the Neptune situation, where it was theorized there was a planet there, then we found the planet. You know what I mean? It seems to me to be open and shut. But as I say, I'll never say never. So I'm still gonna, give people the time of day, because I don't like to just go to someone, "Oh, look, you're just a complete idiot." I don't want to say that. I don't want to say, "Look, I've looked into it and you're all wrong." Don't want to say that either. I want them to look at all the facts and say, okay, so I change my mind all the time. And a healthy mind should be a mind that can be changed. Not doesn't change all the time, because that means you jump to conclusion too quickly. But if you never change your mind, you're just as bad as someone who jumps to conclusion all the time. Because it means that unless you're an exceptionally intelligent person who makes sure they research everything to the nth degree before they even make a conclusion, then you're the exception. Then fair enough, you can hold your opinion, because it's going to be very rare that you come across some new information that's going to prove you wrong if you've looked into it in depth. The problem is most people aren't doing that. And I'm guilty of that as well. I research things, but I wouldn't say I research them as deeply as my friend Dean, for example. He looks into things. He spends a lot more time researching things than I do. I put it into the right. How much is this worth to me? How much is this worth to my curiosity to find out? So I may not spend too long sometimes. But it's funny, because I was on the thing where I probably 5% believe in the flat Earth theory, because, well, you never know what's true. But then I'm more a kind of split between physical world and simulation theory. Let's say somewhere between, I don't know, 60% physical world and the rest simulation theory, except for the flat Earth stuff that's down to about 0.01% now. And I only say that because I don't want to exclude things. I don't even know where to begin. I don't want to go through the normal arguments that people would go through. All the physics-based and chemistry-based arguments, which are just ridiculous. If you understand anything about physics and chemistry, these things stand out like dog's balls. Can't even get into it. I will post 2 of the better videos down below. That's what I did after researching stuff today. I thought, right, I want to find some more compelling things. People are saying what I'm thinking, but actually better articulating it because they're actually working in that field. Found them, right? So I'll put them down below. Hopefully I remember. I'm really crap at doing this link thing below. I always forget. So there's that. But then there's that. Let's say, for example, you're a creationist and there's the whole God theory and everything like that. You're living in a world with all these things designed this way. What kind of God could you possibly have? If you really believe that this God is benevolence and kindness and all bad stuff as well, but he can do anything. He decided to create gay people so he could hate them. He decided to create situations where a whole bunch of people who don't deserve shit just seem to get paid to exist, like the Kardashians, for example. He decided to do great, not just economic injustices in the world, but injustices where the sneaky, horrible people seem to win all the time. I mean, I'm from a country where the sneaky, horrible people have been ruling our country for hundreds of years, and they're still doing it. Where is this God? Why is he so evil? You know, I don't think he is. I don't think it is. I don't think God is what we think it is. I think God is everything, everything around us. That's my own take on it. What I'm going on about it is, if you believe that kind of stuff, what could your take possibly be on this situation that we find ourselves in? And you know, it doesn't make sense why. Well, why something, why any entity would want to sit there and study us in a petri dish, something of his own creation, and yet come down on that creation because they gave us free will, and then what we were meant to have failed because it gave us free will and we failed it. You know, we'll do a better job at creating us. You've obviously failed yourself. You know, we should be mad at you. I'm not saying this seriously. I said I'm taking this from the example as if you are one of these people and you are a creationist or you're a Latter-day Saint sort of person, because it seems like a lot of the people that make these videos are Utah-based nut jobs, right? They're not that smart. I've seen a few smart people making these videos, and I've seen them in debates, and all I see is someone who does not want to let go of the ropes. You know, they're being smacked down multiple times, like, oh, I'm still going. Their eyes are like this. Look at me in the face. Look at me. I can fight more. You know, they just won't give up. And that's someone fighting with ego. That's got nothing to do with the better argument. That's got nothing to do with debate. That's got to do with cracking the nut. And, you know, I'm not into conceding just for the sake that someone, you know, professes something so strongly that they expect me to just concede. I concede when the information, the argument is better, the science is better, the logic is better, not when someone just feels strongly that they should be right and I should be wrong, or the people that I'm listening to should be wrong. So to say, I don't really know what the hell it is we're living in. It feels fairly physical, but I'm sure that I was programmed this way to feel this way, and I was actually completely computer generated. I'm sure that if we got to the stage where the world was completely screwed up, and let's say we could go through some kind of time dimension scenario where we could send back thoughts, or we could send back a non-physical entity, a computer-generated physical entity, to previous times, either computer-generated times or in a realm of some sort, right? Just to see if we could model this. This could be a computer model. See how many times we can do things before it fails. We've only got one chance in the future. Let's say things like when you dream, your dream state lasts a lot longer. You take ayahuasca, that state lasts a lot longer. So it gives us time to try out billions of possibilities and then come back to the real world and say, right, we've tried out every model. This is what we go with. You know, I think people need to get a little bit more creative with look, none of us know what's going on, right? And some of us know kind of what's going on because there's a few people in the world who have been privy to, you know, flying to the, who knows, the upper atmosphere or the top of the globe, whatever the hell it was, the glass ceiling that they hit. I don't know. But there are some people who know, but most of us don't. Let's not pretend we do. Let's not lie to ourselves, because that's apparently what you don't like. That's apparently what people hate, who are on all sorts of simulation side of things or whatever. So yeah, all I'm saying, be realistic. Now let's say for example, you take the matrix side of things. It could be machines that we created that supersede us but still utilize us for whatever reason. It could be like the recent movie I've seen called Mother, where the robots actually are helping them out. The humans are just a bunch of useless pricks and don't even realize it. And these robots that have taken over actually took over years ago and annihilated them, because they knew that the thing that was the screw up was human nature, human nurture. And what they wanted to go back to was human nature, so bring it back to just children that they would bring up. So this thing was nursing a baby to up to adulthood, to get rid of the things that we've learned, which is, you know, promotion of greed, promotion of scummery, because that's what the world we live in right now does do. That it promotes, if you're a slimy, greasy, thieving scumbag, almost every law in this world, doesn't matter what country you're from, is going to promote you as being someone who's deserving. If you're a pompous, arrogant, exploitative, slave driving piece of shit, then the English government is going to be very kind to you, and historically and nowadays. And look at my lady. Look at that. That's pure happiness. Nothing like a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. Rumble's 14 and never forgets to roll around in the hay every couple of, maybe once or twice a day, actually. Don't forget to have your fun. Anyway, back to the story. So, let's say, take those two different ideas there. Or the other idea I have, which could be actually an alien race that is effectively overtaken us without our knowledge. For all we know, it happened 300 years ago, and everyone's completely asleep. Or this happened so long ago that they've been able to wipe our memories. I mean, look at how our history is wiped already. We really don't know. We could be replaced by people who are wandering around this world who are susceptible to mind control of some kind. There's so many different variations on a similar story that it could be that we're living in right now. So when it really comes down to it, I suppose the two reasons, raison d'etre, 2 reasons of life, the 2 reasons to be. One is enjoy yourself, take only what you need from it. No, have a good life. Let's see, there's going to be a few things here. One is to wake up to your reality, I suppose, would be one thing. Because, even if it's not good to wake up to, it's human nature, I'm pretty sure. Well, for what we know of humans, let's say we're programmed. It's the programmed human nature that we have to tell us that we should really be finding the truth in everything. And that transparency is the best way. That only the weakest minds need to be lied to. The best minds can be told the truth. So you have to assume that if this is what we're living in and it's not real, then whoever has created this has not done it with our blessing. Or it was done in a time where the average intelligence level was extremely low and people would rather not know the truth than know it, which is very sad. I like to think that it's a mixture of possibly everything being real, and there's just a handful of people that have worked out over the years how to not only get control but maintain control, because I really believe that it doesn't take that much intelligence. It just takes the will to be a scumbag first, to steal off your fellow man, to get a hockey stick effect on the growth of your wealth, and then to get into concepts, let's say moving away from concepts of almost every culture in this world that you can't own stuff, into a fairly modern mindset that you can own things, and not just that a company is a person, and not just that this person can live for hundreds of years, and therefore, of course, if you have any human being like the Highlander who can, I'm a Highlander, by the way, I was born in the Highlands of Scotland, who can live for hundreds of years, or your Wolverine scenario, then yeah, it's going to be easy to accumulate wealth, isn't it? And how fair is it going to be having, let's say, you competing against effectively newborn infants? Because if you're let's say 1,000 years old, everyone in the world is going to be an infant to you. So it's like taking candy from a baby. And that is the case that people don't understand when you get these Americans who are they're so brainwashed to follow the Republican Party that they don't even think about. There's even things that they'll vote against their own self-interest just to wave that red flag, just to go, yeah, go red, go red. And then it's the same with actually nowadays, especially now that you've got radical moronicness and they're left with the, I don't know, everything from just people with mental blocks, cognitive dissonance and all sorts of stuff going on. They just don't know where they sit. And as a result, they're completely hypocritical in everything they talk about. So the left has just gone more ridiculous than the right in the States and in the UK and much of Europe. So the thing is, the most important thing, I think, waking up to your reality and making sure you have an enjoyable life, because you won't get another one. So I mentioned in the video the other day about was slavery a choice? And possibly, I'd say it definitely is, but it wasn't a very good choice. That was the thing that came up with there. Because it was either a choice between death or dishonor. And personally, I'd choose death. You know what I'd do? I'd take as many of the bashes I could, but I'd find the right time. Same in prison. You get sent to prison. You know what I do? You get in that situation where a friend of mine He's back in jail now in America, actually. Chris, he went down and they tried to get him into what's it called, the white supremacist group again, Aryan Brotherhood. So he didn't accept that, and that's why a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he thinks he's a black man." So you don't understand the things that happened to this guy, right? Anyway, moving on from that story, my point there I was trying to make was, oh yeah, if I get told to suck some fucking group of guys' dick, you know what I'll do? I'll play it really well. I'll go for the toughest cunt in the group. Oh yeah, you first. You seem like the man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I would do mind over matter and then rip the cunt's cock off, right? While blood is splattering everywhere and kill as many as I can, right? Come out in a sea of blood all over my face. I don't care. Next time someone can come back and keep on doing it. I would do that and die. But that takes a level of bravery that a lot of people don't have, especially a lot of beta males don't have that kind of level of bravery, right? So that's just me. But to me, I would always choose it. If I didn't have the bravery, I would probably just find a way to get killed as quick as possible if I was a kind of weakling, you know? So applying it to many other things in life, you know, applying it to slavery, I would the same situation. I'd make it as quick as possible if I couldn't overcome it, or I would think a way out of it, but I would not accept a crap life, especially watching someone else. And people don't understand in society, you're watching people with their income is the same income as if you took the lowest paid person in their company, their income would account for each of those people having to work for 100 years. And let's say it could be 20,000 people. Like Warren Buffett, for example, let's say the lowest earner in Coca-Cola. You know, he's probably got the money of thousands of them. What he's really been he's not an innovator. He's an investor. So what is he really giving the world? That's the thing. There's a difference between gaining capital. Well, one is ridiculous gain of capital is just unjustifiable. If you get to a stage where, you know, there's a difference between, let's say, me creating an ecosystem where I create machines and I haven't used anyone else to do it, and then I go out there and I take resources that aren't even linked to this world, somewhere out in deep space, and I create something that could be regarded now as the whole wealth of the world. That's different, right? But when you live in a shared planet, everything you effectively have is to limitations is a little bit off of the back of others. I can go into this one. I'll go into it some other time. There's no point taking a side tangent here. So all I'm saying is that you do need to have a good life. If you look at these people having a ridiculously rich life, you have to feel like a little bit of a sucker. And there's some people that are really proud. No, I'm working class. I am. You know, that kind of attitude. You know, and you get it all around the world. Like, oh God, you're so proud that you've actually scummed yourself over in life. You need to find a balance. Don't be all the way of being asshole, but don't try to get your kids to be that either. But don't let yourself or don't indoctrinate your children to grow up to be just people who have no ambition or anything. The one thing that we're meant to be good at as human beings is innovating. You know, having ambition, having drive, and doing a lot greater than what we're doing right now. Because this, to me, the world's beautiful, but I look around at civilization, I think there's no way that even the people of 100 years ago should be living the way we are. We're living the way we are because we're stifled somehow. I don't know how it is, whether it's some kind of matrix bullshit going on, whether it's just the elite that have got the situation. Something's going on. We need to wake up to it. So whether it's aliens or robots or whatever hell else, or whether we're in a realm and it's not physical, it actually doesn't matter. Get to the stage of learning more and waking up, treating yourself better. Stop. Don't live like crap. You know, if you look at yourself and you're 400 pounds, you've got big man boobs, and you're smoking all the time, and you're just sitting, spending your whole life gaming, and you're not going out there and actually seeing the real world. There's something wrong with you, man. Wake the hell up. And there's so many different ways to wake up. There's ways to wake up spiritually. There's ways to wake up to even just smelling, you know, wake up and smell the roses. That saying, you know, get out there, get out and realize why people say you feel really good if you go for a hike. It's not just, oh, I'm not that kind of person. No, you're being lazy if you don't want to ever go out and do those sort of things. And, you know, you're just living like a slug. you're not a slug. Hopefully one day that, if there's reincarnation, you get to come back as a slug, but you're not at the moment. You're a human being. Have respect for what you ended up being born as. I'm sure a lot of flies out there that have got stuck to that one fly paper over there would have preferred to have been a human. You got to be one. Don't live like a slug or a fly or a mosquito sucking the blood of others. Be a decent human being. That's about it. I'm going to leave it at that. I have no idea what the answers are. Hopefully in time I shall learn a little bit more. But yeah, I would say none of us are even at 1% of what there is to learn out there. All right. Thanks.